Hello, this is Freewheeling with Stolky. Freewheeling is a podcast about living with cerebral palsy, aka CP, and a disability in everyday life. Let's get rolling. That wasn't intentional at all. Okay, maybe it was. Hello guys and girls, and welcome to episode 1 of Freewheeling. My name is Blake Stolk, and I have finally decided to bite the bullet and begin my own podcast to educate and create awareness about people living with a disability, especially cerebral palsy, because I don't believe there is enough said and known about people living with disabilities. I drive in a wheelchair that squeaks a lot, so sorry in advance for the noises you'll hear when I move. And this is where you insert the laugh. Woohoo! I was born at Wollongong Hospital on June 7th, 1996. I was a preemie baby, born 14 weeks early, only weighing 960 grams, which, to put that in perspective, is the size of my pop's hand. I joked with my parents that I couldn't wait and just wanted to meet them early. Soon after my birth, I was rushed to Sydney Women's Hospital to the intensive care unit for extra care and support. Here are some interesting facts about cerebral palsy that you may not know about. Not that anybody asked, but here we go. Cerebral palsy is categorised in a group of conditions that affect movement and posture. It is caused by the damage that occurs to the developing brain, most often before birth. There are more than 17 million people across the world living with cerebral palsy. Another 350 million people are closely connected to someone living with cerebral palsy. People with cerebral palsy have related vision, hearing, mobility and communication needs. The impacts are a complete weakness in the limbs to a complete lack of voluntary movement. It is a complex disability where 1 in 4 children with cerebral palsy can't talk, 1 in 4 can't walk, 1 in 2 have a psychological disability, and 1 in 4 have epilepsy. You may be wondering, how does cerebral palsy affect me? The first major impact is my mobility, which means I must drive an electric wheelchair to get around in everyday life. And just ask the people that know me, I love to Zoom. Woohoo! I can't do what other 28-year-old people can do that are able-bodied. I can't drive a car. Never will be able to run. I've never had the opportunity to dip my feet in the ocean or feel the sand in between my toes. These are things that average people take for granted, and things that I would do anything to achieve. The thing that I struggle with the most is comparing myself to others, and feel as if I'm not getting enough out of my life, even though I am getting much more than other people living with disabilities. Other struggles are dealing with my muscle stiffness and how frustrating it is mentally, which is a constant mental battle. Physically, I suffer from muscle stiffness, which predominantly affect my hamstrings, which crackle and pop every morning during personal care, which makes my support workers squirm. I am also affected in my left arm. I have limited movement, therefore being unable to pick up a fork with my left hand to feed myself. I am bound to my wheelchair for everyday life, which doesn't help my stiffness and back pain. I can't move out and live alone. I can't live without my support workers. It's a weird feeling talking about my support because it sounds like I'm ungrateful, but there are some days I don't want them to be around all the time because I'm just like everybody else and like time to myself. Just to clarify, I do get my own time and decide when things happen. There are times When I do need my support workers and daily structure is needed, because I live with two other housemates that are also wheelchair users and need their own routine met. The bonds that I have built with my support are incredibly special to me, and I'm incredibly grateful. Unfortunately, in the disability industry, everyone hears the negative coverage. I believe it's because there are no qualifications needed and not enough experience. I have been incredibly lucky in my life that I get to spend some fantastic times with fantastic people that are just not in it for the money. They are caring and want to see me live my life to the fullest and kick ass. I am very grateful for all the help I get because working as a support worker isn't always easy. There is a certain stereotype that being a support worker is an easy job because you go bowling, you go out for lunch and shopping. That is what people in the community see, but it's much more involved. For my support workers, there is showering, feeding, administering medication, and everything has policies and procedures that have to be followed, or my life is at risk. There are so many disabilities out there, but even people with the same disability can differ so much because of different personalities. Throughout my life, I have experienced many different occasions where people with a disability, including myself, are not seen as normal people. And I want to change that through this podcast and educate you, the listener. Having a disability doesn't stop me in the slightest. I'm just a normal bloke who loves the food and a cold one. I attend every concert possible, so much so that I lose my voice every time. I love watching the footy and the Illawarra Hawks. Music has helped me a lot throughout my life mentally. I base what I listen to on what I'm feeling at the time. It is a way to express how I'm feeling and how I relate to certain lyrics. When I'm anxious and stressed, I listen to Ocean by John Butler Trio, which makes me feel chill and have a few minutes of peace to myself. My two favourite bands are the Foo Fighters and Kings of Leon, which I have had the pleasure of seeing live, and I will never forget that feeling. My family is a major contributing factor into helping me become the man I am today. From the constant money spending out of their own pocket to the support and love no matter what. My mum is the strongest woman I know, from staying by my side when we didn't know what the future held. She's my biggest advocate. My dad is my best mate. He always has my back and never allows anyone to take advantage of me. My little brother has been there since day one in some very vulnerable situations. He was my first friend and always knows the right thing to say. Here are some fun facts about me, aka Stolky. I love a good sing-along, but trust me, I'm a good singer, especially after a few drinks. Which leads me to sing my favourite karaoke song, Simply the Best by Tina Turner. Yeah, boy. A trip down my local pub isn't complete without a good old-fashioned pepperoni pizza or a glorious Canadian club, or free. Woo! People that know me well will tell you that I love a good stir. While I'm around my support workers, I love to take the absolute mickey out of them. It goes both ways. That's how life should be, not taking my life too seriously, especially in my situation. Sometimes life is a struggle. However, my life is about making memories with good people who play a major role in my life. That is all for episode 1 of Freewheeling. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if so, keep listening as there is plenty more to come. Be sure to follow Freewheelin with Stolky podcast on social media. Our next episode will consist of my daily life, from moving into a group home to the extent of my daily personal care routine and what life is like not living at my parents' house. Adios!
Freewheelin with Stolky has been 100% self-funded by Blake with a little bit of help from Sounds Delicious Studios and Rock and Rollers Disability Support.